everybody, it's Camille Martin with Love to Lose, and this is where I teach you how to love your life and lose the weight. And in today's video, I want to talk about something that is really important. It's something that we are all doing wrong, or I have done wrong and been guilty of, but it's something you're doing wrong, really wrong, and it's what's keeping you from losing weight. And the thing is, you don't realize that you're doing it, but I'm going to tell you what it is and how to fix it. And what it is this. You will never lose weight as long as you are trying to lose the weight. So what I mean by that is that you're thinking of weight in the wrong way. You're thinking of it in a resistant way, and it's creating resistance in your mind and in your body, and that is what is keeping you stuck. So in today's video, I'm going to explain how you can shift your mindset and then give you 5 practical steps to figure out how to allow the weight to shed itself rather than you continuously trying to lose it and getting nowhere. So there are 2 big ways that it's causing us to think of weight in the wrong way. And number 1 is that we've been trained by culture to think of the weight as something horrible and disgusting, and it makes us look unattractive and makes us feel worthless, and that is not true. The other thing that's happening is that we are also fed a lot of cultural lies that I think they're lies, such as when you get to menopause, it's harder to lose weight around the middle. Once you have a baby, you'll never get your body back. And things like the older you get, the harder it is to lose weight. So these things are not necessarily true, but we are believing in them. And the fact that we are looking at weight as something that's terrible and that we need to get rid of, that's creating resistance. And then we feel hopeless when we believe in all of these cultural lies. We feel like, well, you know, if that's true, then I might as well give up. So those 2 feelings are causing us to revert back to behaviors that we have trained ourselves to use when we feel this way, like binge eating, eating emotionally, sometimes binge drinking, and it's causing us to have a lack of motivation and energy, which is keeping us from doing the things that we need to do in order to change our bodies. So obviously when you binge eat and eat emotionally and you don't work out very often, it makes you keep weight on your body because you're not doing the things that you need to do to help the weight move and shed itself. And then the more that the weight stays there, the more likely you are to keep doing these things that are keeping your body stuck. So the real key here is to eliminate the resistance. You want to get into a state of allowing. It's not glamorous, as I said, to think of things this way and to use this as a tool to help make changes in your body, but it really is the only thing that works. So think of it this way. When you're fighting with someone and you're really angry and you're arguing back and forth, the more you argue with someone, the more they want to fight back, right? So it's the more you resist something, the more you're creating more of that thing. So if you're arguing with someone and then you just say, you know what? It's okay, I understand what you mean. What happens? Automatically, that person dials it down and her energy level is brought way down, and both of you then can get on the same page, and it eliminates the resistance and the desire to keep the fight going. The mindset shift involves making peace with your body and loving yourself just the way it is. And I'm not going to talk cliches in this video, even though those things are true and are very important. I want to give you practical steps that you can start taking to help you shift your mindset, to eliminate the resistance. And then that is how you're going to allow your body to do what it really wants to do, which is stabilize, normalize, and get to a place of health and of not having a lot of excess weight that you're carrying around. Strategy number 1 is that you have to accept these principles. You have to really believe and consciously understand and try to understand what I'm saying here, because if you're not understanding it or you're not willing to believe that what I'm saying is true, you're just going to stay stuck. And as I said earlier, people want the quick fix. Trust me, I get it. I was there for a very long time, but all change starts in the mind. And when you start to absorb these principles and understand that the weight is coming from somewhere, that it's coming from a place of resistance, that is the first step in making changes. Strategy number 2 is to reframe the weight. And what I mean by this is you want to look at the weight as not as something that is like disgusting and terrible and horrible. The weight is there for a reason. It's predictable. The outcome is predictable. If you do these things, you're going to keep excess weight. But the trick is that you have to understand why you're doing these things. So for example, when I was going through my divorce, I reverted back to emotional eating and binge drinking, frankly, and I never worked out. I was a huge workout person. I never missed a workout. But during that time, doing all of those things as a result of the devastation that I was going through, and it was absolutely horrible. I was doing these things to make myself feel better as a way to cope. And what happened is that I gained about 20 pounds, which was devastating to me because I had never been that heavy. So what I ultimately had to do is that I was looking at myself and saying, oh my God, what happened to you? What is wrong with you? What have you done? You know, you don't even look like yourself. You're disgusting. You're horrible. And I had to reframe it and say, you know what? This weight is here for a reason. You use these behaviors to cope. You went through trauma and it is okay. And that was the first step. When I reframed what the weight meant, it didn't mean that I was worthless or lazy or disgusting or ugly. It meant that it was coming from somewhere. And once I was able to see, well, yeah, duh, that was the first step in me, letting it shed instead of resisting it and hating it. Strategy number 3 is to reject the cultural lies. This is a really tough one because we are literally pounded constantly on a daily basis at how hard it is to lose weight when you're in menopause, how it all sticks right in your middle. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. It really does affect me because I am in menopause and, I'm not perfect and I hear these things and it's really hard to ignore it. But you must make a conscious decision to, if it's hard to not believe it and buy into it, at least question it. Like, is that true? Is it harder to lose weight when you're in menopause? Maybe it's true because we all believe it's true and then we're all just giving up and saying, screw it. It's hard to lose weight when you age, so I'm not even gonna try. But look at it this way. If somebody else has done it, why can't you do it? If somebody else has gotten into the best shape of her life when she's in her 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever, if somebody else can do it, then you can do it too. Strategy number 4 is to do things that help you not physically resist your body and reject it. And what I mean by that is if you're walking around sucking in your stomach constantly or twisting your body and contorting yourself so you don't look fat or you can't see the fat on your arms or whatever. If you're wearing too tight clothes because you used to fit in these clothes and you're hell bent on still fitting into the clothes, maybe one day and hopefully you will be able to fit into those clothes again. But for the time being, what you're doing when you are sucking in your stomach and squeezing yourself into tight clothes, you are creating massive resistance in your body. You're not breathing and letting energy flow through. So as much as possible, catch yourself when you're like sucking in your stomach and you're hunching over. This is creating literal physical resistance in your body. That being said, strategy number 5 is to choose activities that make you feel peaceful and joyful and relaxed. So for the time being, enough with the competitive workouts, and that is my personality, is to get on the treadmill and do a dead sprint for 5 minutes and then, listen to a lot of techno music. But for a little while at least, dial that down, go on a long walk, do some hiking. Yoga is amazing. I've just re-engaged with my yoga practice. It helps you to feel free and relaxed in your body. So as much as possible, ditch the competitive mindset of a workout and instead think of it as I'm moving my body and I'm feeling good in my body. To close this one out, think of it this way. Resisting your body is pointless. Your poor body can't help it. It's just doing what it's told. Your body is not the enemy. And if you think of it this way, it's going to keep staying the same, staying stuck, or worse, getting worse. It's going to keep getting magnified. So think of it this way. Your body is your home. And if you treat it kindly, and if you do love exactly where you are right now and understand where you are and why your body looks the way that it does, that's the first step in helping you shed the weight instead of trying to get rid of it. And what I love to tell people, and it's really true if you think about it, stop trying to get somebody else's body, because the body that you're wanting and envisioning for yourself truly is already there. It's just underneath a layer of stuff that you don't need. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope it helped you. If it did, share it with a friend. And if you're not already signed up for my weekly newsletter, head over to my website at camillemartinrd.com and get signed up. And as I said in last week's video, I have a very exciting announcement, and that is that I'm creating a mobile app that will help you do all of these things so you're not out there trying to pinball doing one thing after another. It'll be in one spot to help you take control of your health and your body and to make the changes you want to make. So if you want to know more about that, please go to that website, which is empowerfully.io. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you here next time on Love to Lose.